Hey everybody, hope you all are doing well. So, the story being told to us is that there is a crisis in Ukraine and a lot of other parts of the world. I mean, anybody who's seen the documentary on Darfur and looked into what's going on in Africa knows that there's a lot of starving children and all sorts of war criminals that use food and water and shelter and things like that to control the populace and keep people in a state of poverty. Not to mention a whole bunch of atrocities that So anyways, without focusing too much on the negative, let's focus on the solutions and the good things that we can do to help out these people. This idea for an infrastructure, for the nonprofit, for multi-purpose centers that can be developed all over the world. These are small, starting small with just like food shops, bakeries, pizzas, simple things, cafes, you can even maybe have a bar, music, live music is good, clothes can be made from hemp, just a good place for people to go and work, exchange, a sharecropping type system, and, to grow their own foods and vegetables, and to live in a place that's independent from the current infrastructure so that, we can start to starve it and redirect the power and energy and attention to something that's good, godly, and healthy. And then once that starts to get going, we can begin to, we can start anytime, really. It's not up to me, but, I'm always like, now is always a good time to do something good. So whenever the time is right, we can begin building fleets of ships to escort and transport all refugees of this catastrophe that want to leave. We can relocate to a priorly set up place and have a work/living system to help ensure that they have food, water, shelter, and the means to help perpetuate the system so that we don't run into debt and are helping perpetuate a good and healthy system for all. The hemp plant can provide food, water filtration systems, shelter, batteries, vehicles, etc. We can have experienced growers to help teach each other how to grow. As our crops grow and people are being fed and things taken care of, multi-purpose good exchange centers can begin to be built all over the world. These multi-purpose exchange centers will hopefully serve as the beginning blocks of a whole alternative good-based infrastructure which will help to usher in the kingdom of heaven. We will figure out a good and fair nonprofit rate of exchange of work and goods. People will be free to choose how much they want to work. The Word of God will serve as our guiding force to ensure evilness stays away. This does not mean only Christians can work here, but it does mean all whom want to work here must obey the commandments of God, as we all do. So, and like the commandments, they're pretty straightforward and simple, I don't know them all off the top of my head, but it's essentially, don't steal, don't kill, have love for yourself, have love for your neighbor, love God, don't be a drunkard, what are the other ones, don't commit adultery. Simple shit that we should really all be following, man. Getting drunk all the time is not fucking healthy, it's not fun, it doesn't make you happier. There's celebrations and times for everything, but to perpetuate that type of a lifestyle is not good. And I'm one who loves to drink, so, it's something that I've been on the fence with for a little bit of time, but, enough is enough, man. We've had our fucking share of alcohol, we've had our share of bars, we've had our share of indulgences. It's time to cut back. It's not what God wants us to do, it's not healthy. So continuing on here. People don't have to agree, but it's not open for debate. It is what it is, man. If y'all don't want to be a part of this, that's fine. You can start your own thing, but this is how it's got to be done. This is God's will, not mine. So this goes for those whom choose to live and work with us. For those whom are direly ill and in need of urgent care, a healing/area facility will be available for them. Once they are healed, they can choose to stay or go. If they stay, they will have to work as we all do. The roots of the hemp plant cause apoptosis of malignant cells, which means essentially they kill off unhealthy cells. So this is a potentially truly cure for cancer, curing cancer and all sorts of neurodegenerative diseases. To be most effective in doing so, one needs to pull them from the earth, the roots from the earth, directly from the earth, and use a pestle and mortar, which is just the old-fashioned, get a stone bowl and a stone grinder, I think, and you just grind it in the bowl. Just very old-fashioned style, works the best. Grind them up and make them into a paste, or I don't know, I'm not the best on this, or you can just apply it directly onto the injured/diseased area. You can also drink a concoction of the roots that will get the plant into one's inner systems and organs, but the roots and the paste can also be applied to the external part of the body. The concoction or paste will be absorbed through the skin. Doing both will be much more effective. I think it's the hemp seeds that realign one's neurons back to their original God-designed healthy way of operating. And so it has a very likely, if not already proven ability to combat and defeat diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's, seizures, epilepsy, and all other neurodegenerative diseases. The globulin Epstein amount in hemp, I think I said that right, is one, if not the highest amount found in any plant. Globulin Epstein is a key ingredient to a healthy and fully functioning, originally created by God, immune system. It's very much like, I don't even know what the most vital fluid in a vehicle would be, but it would be that for the immune system. And a lot of people's immune system are out of whack, and that's why we have so much sickness, disease, and death, and that also affects your mental and your spiritual well-being. So your immune system is huge, man. And the hemp plant has, I think, the highest amount of the key, like the most important ingredient for your immune system in the plant. The immune system is designed and was originally intended by God to successfully fight off diseases. So many are sick and dying because instead of feeding their bodies what they really need to be healthy and have a strong or normal immune system, they continue to eat toxic foods and take pharmaceuticals which treat the symptoms and alleviate pain. They don't heal or make one healthier. In fact, they do the opposite. Pharmaceuticals are full of various poisonous chemicals, and most, if not all, especially opiates, clog one up and make one constipated. So not only does the body not circulate their blood as well, and thus the nutrients that go into the blood, but they also aren't able to expel the toxic waste that they're absorbing. And when they continue to do this every day after day after day after day, it just continues to get worse. They continue to have more waste in their body, and they continue to have less good circulation. So it's like a double whammy in the negative. So from these few facts alone, it's no wonder why so many are sick and dying. Not to mention that the type of rituals one performs every moment and every day. A lot of people are sick, they don't move around, and they watch a lot of TV. Both of these aspects of their life are unhealthy. So these are some of the core problems to sickness. The hemp plant and the good book are here to help people heal, if they have eyes to see and ears to hear. God and Mother Nature have all we need to solve all of our problems. We but need to take heed and change our perspectives and activities. This is also why by changing the whole infrastructure of the world would also change all the rituals and manners and products of consumption into a method of good, godly perpetuation instead of a bad, devilishly unhealthy perpetuation. A non-profit driven, good, godly work society is key to flipping the script from this backwards to life, or to truly live, which is evil. Live is backwards is evil, into one that puts the needs of those in need first rather than last, and one that puts the needs of those that are in need first rather than last, or not at all. We do not own anything. We have been given the gift of life, and thus an allowance to all that our lives are granted by God allows us to have. How we use our allowance and how we choose to live our life is more important and has more of an effect than I think most people know or even want to see. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. This is true until the correct God-given 411 is given unto them, and then they now do know, and so a lack of 411 is no longer applicable. If you hear this, you can no longer plead ignorance. Neglect is a sin, and to be aware of a problem and have the solution come your way, it hardens your heart and helps the devil hold his evil sway over humanity. Now, this is deep as it affects all of us, including and especially the children. I will share what God has given me the ability to share on how our children are most highly vulnerable and sensitive to the enemy's attacks and plays of wickedness. After I share more about how our free market society is a tool to get mankind in love of money, and how I feel the majority of America and the world have, and a lot of it's unbeknownst to them, fallen in love with money. Or just a dire dependency on money, which in a sense is, love is an attraction for, is a liking for. So if you're super dependent on something, you're kind of in love with it. Which, as in God's good book, it is written, is the root of all kinds of evil. Are we not seeing all types of evil, from corruption, pollution, exploitation, genocide, suicide, mental, spiritual, and physical sickness, etc.? In the USA, our medical system is the codices. That's our symbol, which represents essentially commerce. These people tell you what they are about with symbols and signs. They perform satanic rituals right before your eyes. Super Bowl, music videos, certain movies, the whole 9-to-5 work week for an employer you don't agree with and may not like, whom also makes profits off the exploitation of Mother Nature and natives of foreign lands, is all a big ritual of evil, and the majority of the world in it acts these jobs every single day. This needs to change. This is changing. How much change to what direction depends on how much love or effort we are willing to put in and where that love and effort goes. Change is the one constant in the universe, in God's reality. It is happening simultaneously on both sides, good and evil. This sickness is just a step in the wicked one's plan to bring about the kingdom of evil and to further weaken and enslave humanity. The devil works in deception, and his greatest gift is convincing the world he doesn't exist. And that comes from the movie End of Days. So what better way to influence people and gain their sway than to offer alluring desires that appear and sound good but are actually rooted in unhealthy works and evil, backwards ways. They keep as much as they can hidden underground and as far away from the public eye as they can. However, with those whom have eyes to see and ears to hear, signs and feelings and noises, etc., will appear to them, and into the rabbit hole they go. And upon deeper and further investigation and observation, they find the true inner workings of those whom have sway and are guiding the people a very evil and specific way. This sickness, war, supply chain problem, etc., inflation, all are tools and tricks that the enemy is using to keep us distracted and concerned with other things rather than the one true thing that will defeat them all, God. That's just that's obviously not everything, but I just want to share with you guys a little bit. All right, I love you guys. Hope you have a good day. Bye.